Hello and welcome back to the Scarworld Season 2 server. My name is Okada, and in this episode we are returning to the industrial build area. And first I wanted to show you the improvements I've made in my storage system here. As you can see, I have greatly expanded my ability to store iron ingots and iron plates, and even iron rods. Likewise, we have this wonderful view from up here to where we can look around across the horizon. And as you can see in my office up... Oh, wait a minute. It's not right. Wait. This isn't Minecraft. You know, I thought it was a little strange when I tried to craft up those iron ingots into iron blocks, and it just wasn't working. But you know, you get to playing a bunch of different games, and sometimes you get a little confused. But we are back on the Scarworld Season 2 server, back in the industrial build area, and we got a lot of work to do. As you can see by the chest in the background, it's still the Christmas season, and I had a project I've been wanting to work on, and I think it's time to get to it. Also, you can see off camera here, I filled in this area with grass. I get tired of jumping over the hole. I know this hasn't been filled in yet. I've kind of measured out, you know, the minimum amount of space I need to reserve, so that if we end up with silos, which we probably will, they would come out to here, and the harvester arms would come out to here. So this is kind of my reserved space for storage. Well, it does seem like a lot of space, doesn't it? And that gives me the swamp behind me to work with. But that's great, because this has been not filled in, and I've not filled in all this time because I have plans for this. And well, actually, I'm not going to use the swamp right yet. I'm going to build over the swamp. But this area all back here, this tract of land and water, I've reserved it for a specific set of farms. And that would be long rectangular farms that use flying machines. That's right, the ones that servers hate. So today we're going to work on getting two things done. And I don't know if we're going to both done in the same episode. We'll see. I do have a lot of other stuff I need to get done. But the current set of projects are going to be the super smelter, which I think I probably mentioned that sometime back when I was working on the bee farm. And then, of course, to fuel that farm, or fuel that device, we're going to need the automated bamboo farm. And I'm a little tired of cutting those things down there in the background manually. And it's not going to cut it when it comes to a full-size super smelter. So that's what the next projects are going to be. And they're going to take place over in this area. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to rope off the area necessary for all the rectangular farms. And they're going to be stacked as I build them. Not all of them today, just the bamboo farm is the only rectangular farm, but it's going to be the ones on the top. So I kind of need to make sure I have room for the ones that will be below it when I eventually get around to building them. But first, we're going to head back to the shopping district because I did open the store. And I've been busy doing, well, non-Minecraft stuff. And, I haven't checked the shop today, so let's head to the shopping district and take a look at it before we start doing, build stuff. All right, back to the shopping district. As you can see, things have gotten a little festive. A lot of Christmas hats. And oh, yeah. Is that a reindeer? And a giant naked Santa. Like, is that a Speedo? No. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. All right. Well, so on the Redstone shop, I did mention that I'd maybe just put some banners up there. Redstone, break up that wall a little bit. I did. That's been taken care of, and it looks like the rail has stopped. So we have a fix for that. There's a button blending in there. Push this guy. I'm still working on a final solution for keeping this thing running, but it's been more reliable on my tests. So let's check on the shop so we can get back to building. Oh boy. Alright, gotta restock hoppers. Comparators. Okay. Repeaters. Redstone blocks. Okay, lamps are still in. Yeah, I don't expect a lot on the rail front. I'm not sad that the target blocks aren't... Until I can get me a farm up for wheat, these are a real pain to make. Okay, sticky pistons. Regular pistons. Alright, dispensers are still here. Droppers are still here. Oh boy, observers. Those are a pain to make. Honey blocks. Oh. Okay, I didn't expect honey blocks to sell. Sweet. So, I guess the shop's a success. Oh, man. Alright, well, I guess I'm no longer the poorest Scarian, but that means I need to spend some time restocking before we get to the build. So, I guess I gotta hit the villagers and yeah. So let me get to it. I can't leave the stock empty, and then we'll get back to building. All right, so here we are at the work site. As you can see, just on the other side of all the silos, I've put together a beacon with the 3 standard buffs, and I have gathered some resources for the first stage of this, what's going to be a tedious build. I've mapped out roughly the height of the farms. Now the yellow is going to be my future sugarcane farm. We're not doing that right now. I'll come back to that at some point. It's in the future. But I want to make sure I leave enough room below the bamboo farm, which will be up there, so that when I get around to creating the sugarcane farm, I'll have space for, see right here's for the water streams, and this will be the ground for the rail for the collection, and then we have the actual floor where the sugarcane will be, and then the max height for the sugarcane. Then I give myself a couple of spaces. So that first black wool is the outer border of the water stream for the bamboo farm. So what we're going to be building at is that next one up. And those are the outer boundaries. So I've put together a bunch of resources. And the farm is going to be, and you know, as long as it doesn't turn out to be too ridiculously large, it's going to be 18 wide and 100 long, which is absurdly more than necessary. But, you know, go big or go home. You know what I should have done? I should have marked the center. I have some dirt here. And of course it's even number, so it's here and one over is the middle. So this is the middle of the eastern side of it. Oops, ran out. That's all right. We'll just do that. We just need the initial outline. So this is right. Can't read it. All right, yeah, that should be it. So this will be the collection floor, and it will start right there. Actually, it will start right here. We're going to do the first 50 going that way, and then the other 50 going that way. But we'll do that in a time lapse. So let's get going. You know, normally when I go back and I rewatch the footage of my builds in third person, you know, with the replay mod and this high-speed time-lapsing, normally it's just awesome to watch. I mean, there's something cool about, you know, after all the work that you've done, kind of stepping out of it and watching it come together in one grand quick clip. And I love time lapses. I like watching them on other people's videos. I like watching my own. But I have to make a confession here. There's nothing satisfying about this one. I mean, building this in normal speed was mind-numbing as it was. And then, you know, it was kind of with the promise that, well, I'm recording it in replay, so when I get to watch it again in third person, it won't be so bad. And I rewatched it in high speed in replay, and it wasn't any more exciting than when I did it in person. But I hope this was not as bad for you as it was for me. But anyway, let's finish it out. Major update time. As you can see, I've been a busy little bee. I have got a bunch of stuff done. This is no longer just an open field of rails. Now it's an open field of rails with stuff on the end. So I want to quickly go over what's on here. First of all, obviously, we have the flying machine built. And I went with honey for a couple reasons, as opposed to the standard slime flying machine. First of all, because I make honey. But more importantly, because slime flying machines, when the slime blocks run into things, they propel them, whereas honey does not. Now, the disadvantage to using a honey machine is that it takes an extra block, one here and one here, which reduces the potential width, but who cares, right? We don't need to be any wider than this. So this is what I went with. I've seen this standard little miniature flying machine. It's like these 4 blocks here and these 4 blocks right here. And so I thought, well, I'll just attach some arms to it, turn it into a harvesting arm. And I did, and it works. And I needed to modify the launcher that we normally see from the slime flying machines, but it wasn't that hard to change up. But it's tested, it works. That's enough on that. You've seen plenty of flying machines, I'm sure. Now, down here, we have the collection. So the two sides are going to collect so that, it passes down the rails once, collects in one end and back the other. That will minimize, the potential of things despawning while it has to go 2 trips, filling up on one and then being full on the way back. And we did a simple unloader mechanism on this end. I'm going to show you very quickly. So the line is always powered, which is why we couldn't use it on the other end, because we need the carts to be able to stop when the entire farm is shut off. So if an empty cart comes here, it immediately fires and goes back. I don't want the carts going forever. But if they come here and they have items in it, they will shut off the rail by detecting the item and unpowering the rail. And once the cart is empty and the hopper is empty, it will repower and send the rail back automatically. And as far as the droppers go, I came up with this little mechanism here where I'm going to be loading it from 2 sides in most cases, and I want it to fire quickly, and I want it to be compact. So instead of using the standard dropper clock that you've seen me build for all of these, silos, where we have the horizontal layout of repeaters and redstone, what I did is I packed this in, so if there's an object in here, it's detected, it passes up to this torch tower, powers this, goes through a couple of delayed repeaters, and fires a piston, starting the little observer clock. Now the reason for my extending this out like this was so that I could put a delay on here, and that gives it time to load more objects into the dropper before triggering this. That way it stays on longer, and then we don't have the piston firing over and over again. And on the other side, we've modified the collectors so that the rails by default are off instead of on. And what will happen is when one of these carts starts to unload, we'll pass the signal through to this line down here, and all of them contribute to this line. So if any one of them is dropping off goods, they're all going to be set to re-trigger so they go another trip. But what will happen is a power will come through here. It'll get through this repeater first, locking this repeater, and then power will get kind of stuck in this slow repeater. And that way, this gets locked first, and the power doesn't get through the repeater. That way, this line stays off until all of the hoppers are empty. And by all the hoppers, I mean all the carts, and therefore all the hoppers. Once they're all empty, the line will depower, depowering this repeater, unlocking this one. This repeater will still have power in it briefly, which will pulse up this line, and away will go all the carts again. And they'll go back and forth until they all come back completely empty. And that's it. But that took quite a bit of time to build. Come on, there we go, beacon. And it just would have been too much to try to record it, so I figured I'd just talk about it at the end. So, with that said, this farm is done shy of... Let's kind of hide. It's shy of, obviously, the grass and the bamboo. And finally, I'll have to run the water streams. And that will all be done after I have the collection set up. Alright, I'm going to pause for a moment. Alright, now with that resolved, what we're going to do after this, we're going to leave this for now, is we're going to build a silo. So, I'm not going to go over the whole scheme. This is going to take at least 2 episodes to complete the whole thing because we need the super smelter. But in brief, the super smelter is going to be in this area here. And we're going to have a silo probably right there to hold all the bamboo. And what will happen is it'll all go to the silo, and it'll stay in the silo until the smelter needs fuel, and then it will request fuel from the silo. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build the silo, connect these water streams. This hopper is just a placeholder for testing. It'll be gone. And that'll be it. For this episode, that's going to be it. We're going to get the silo done, and all the water streams go in the whirly swirly. So it's still going to take a lot of work to get this done for this episode. I'm going to do a quick time lapse of building the silo, and I think we're going to call it because I know we're running out of time. And then next week we will get the smelter done. So let me hop on it. Let's jump into a time lapse and wrap this up. And ta-da! Oh boy, that was a lot. That was a lot of stuff. So there might have been some awkwardness or not awkwardness. The flow of the time lapse might have been a little weird. I don't know. I'm gonna have to review it again. I did a like 8 or 9 hour session, and there was a crash when the server went down. My client crashed trying to save that file. The edit failed, and I was able to recover it by going through that 6 hours worth of raw footage from one of the replay folders. So hopefully that came out okay. It was less smooth. I know. I mean, I've already done some of the editing. It was definitely less smooth than my usual time lapses, but I kind of want to let you know what happened. So I'm pretty sure I've already explained all of this. In fact, I know I have, right? Before I built the rest of the farm. Well, on the other side, the carts would leave here and they would go and they would dock on the other side, unload, and then they would come back this way. Well, the unloading's taking too long. I'm losing a lot of the bamboo to unloading. Just the time is despawning. Because, it has to unload 5 stacks into the hopper and then go to the other side and unload 5 stacks. So what I've just done, without any testing whatsoever, is I've moved that, or copied that system over to here, and added another set of carts. And now they all have their own dedicated tracks. There's no bend in the track. So the ones coming from the other side are going to bounce off this block and go back. So this system should work the same, I hope. I literally have not done any testing. And instead of running redstone all the way across the map, what I did was I put a detector rail under here, so when the other rails come along, the other carts come along, they'll trigger these guys. So we know we have limited time here at the end of the video. So I'm going to press a button. I want you guys to see this work or see it fail. And here we go. This is so cool. And there go the carts. Let's get to the other end real quick and see if the air carts launch properly. Okay, that'd be the carts bouncing. And nothing. Nothing. Why did it not go? Okay. Alright, so we're gonna have to figure that out. Yeah. You know what? I'm a doofus. I am a... So, I haven't tested it yet, but I figured out the problem. You notice on the tile behind me? I forgot to put down the redstone dust that I needed to put down. Yeah. So what happened was I pressed the button and the power went through, right, it went through here and down around the chain, and it fired off all of those carts and not these two. This cart right here being the one the detector rail is on. So we saw the bounce back and like, oh, it's all working. Well, all except for the cart we needed to move. So I think it's fixed now, and we can do a test here. I mean, it's not a full harvest, right? Because it's not, oops, ouch, not fully grown. But we just need to see it. We see it to work. All right. So in theory, there we go. All right, it works. So that's it. That's it. Project's done. This has been a fun thing. I like watching the machine run. I think it looks fantastic. You know, it's more stuff swirling around the whirly swirly. And I know I never do it on camera, but I do still spend time standing here watching things swirl around in the swirly, and just watch it go. But we're gonna wrap it up here, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. The super smelter and whatnot, it's gonna have my own spin to it. So definitely come back and see that, because we gotta over-engineer it. It's got to be more fun. And that's it. So I'll see you guys next episode. Please, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. And, if you have any other ideas about smoothing this out, I'm always open to suggestions. But anyway, otherwise, I will see you guys in the next episode.